Part 19. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 181. Such a slap in the face of heaven. Today, I will definitely find you. The Jade Emperor is sitting in the sky, his anger has reached its extreme level. Haoshan mirror. The Jade Emperor scolded. In an instant, a treasure appeared in the void. The Haoshan mirror was given by Zheng Daizhu. In addition to having extremely strong attack power, it also has some magical powers. You can use this mirror to see what happened before. Things. But only things below his own realm. If it is beyond himself or at the same realm, he is not allowed to look at it. Sun Wukong is only Deluo Jinxian now, and he has not yet beheaded a corpse. Naturally, he cannot escape from the Haoshan mirror. Haoshan, the magical power of mirror time, emerged. In an instant, Sun Wukong went to the peach garden and fairy fruit garden and appeared in the Haoshan mirror. In the Haoshan mirror, Sun Wukong ate and stuffed it. Generally, the spiritual fruit that is garbage can only be eaten after one bite and thrown away. The better ones can only take 2 or 3 bites. The immortals couldn't bear to look at the waste of spiritual fruits and flat peaches. Sun Wukong threw them away as rubbish. But they couldn't even think of it. The Jade Emperor and the Queen Mother saw this scene. Especially the Queen Mother's angry face. Shaking, her eyes became angry. The Peach Conference was what she called for. It was also the only time every tens of thousands of years that her Queen Mother Yaokai could show her face. However, this time she failed to show her face, and was slapped in the face instead. Moreover, she was also beaten. Very heavy, very heavy. Jade Emperor, you summoned Sun Wukong to heaven. This time, he destroyed heavenly court so much. If you don't punish him severely, I will never give up. Queen Mother Yaokai, with a look of determination on her face. Obviously, what the Queen Mother said was telling the Jade Emperor that if you, the Jade Emperor, don't send someone to capture Sun Wukong and give her an account, then she, the Queen Mother, will take action. Jade Emperor, seeing that it was Sun Wukong, anger appeared on his brows. He had originally recruited the Sun Wukong himself, and promised him a lot of treasures and many conditions to let him stay in heaven. However, this Sun Wukong actually slapped him in the face and slapped heaven in this way. Face. How unreasonable. Summon all the immortals from the Monkey King's immortal mansion. I want to ask clearly why Sun Wukong is doing this, Jade Emperor Haoshan said to several of the immortals. At this moment, Yang Jian, who was standing below Yuanshi Tianzun, felt something bad. Why did Sun Wukong behave like this? He had some idea in his mind. If he hadn't cancelled Sun Wukong's entry, I am afraid that there will be no quota for the Flat Peach Conference today. He just saw that when Sun Wukong picked the fairy fruit Flat Peach, he obviously had the intention of revenge. In just a moment, a few immortals took the Monkey King into the immortal palace of the great sage. Bring the little fairy over here. If you come here, do you know what is going on? Jade Emperor Haoshan scolded with a cold look on his face. Several little immortals looked confused and frightened. They have not come out of the Monkey King's immortal mansion. What can they know? Jade Emperor, I don't know. Several immortals said fearfully. Humph, you dare to say you don't know, look who is in this Haoshan mirror. The Jade Emperor Haoshan pointed at the Haoshan mirror in the sky and scolded. Several immortals heard the sound and looked over. They saw Haoshan mirror and their Monkey King, actually beating to death to pick the spiritual fruit Flat Peach. Moreover, it was the ones picked from all the gardens. The bodies of several fairies immediately started to tremble. Great Sage, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You have made us miserable. Several fairies were already crying in their hearts. Jade Emperor, we really don't know. The Jade Emperor and the great sage picking peaches have nothing to do with us. A group of fairies, the fairies quickly wanted to clear up the relationship. Huh, you dare to say you don't know, it has nothing to do with you. The anger gradually appeared in the Jade Emperor's eyes. As a servant of the great sage Kishan, how can you not know his whereabouts? He went to the peach garden and the fairy fruit garden. Why didn't you stop him? The Jade Emperor shouted coldly. A group of little immortals were even more panicked. The Monkey King has a fierce personality, and they are just little immortals. How could the Monkey King tell them their whereabouts? Even if they told them their whereabouts, could they stop them? Jade Emperor, we really don't want to go to the fairy fruit garden and the peach garden to the Monkey King. He just asked us where the fairy fruit garden and the peach garden were. Several immortals quickly explained. Then why did he ask about the fairy fruit garden and the peach garden? The Jade Emperor scolded in a cold voice. This is because there is no Monkey King's name in this peach conference. Therefore, the Monkey King asked. Several little immortals explained. The Jade Emperor Haoshan, who was originally full of anger, was stunned. 10,000 immortals were invited to the peach conference, and all the famous immortals in heaven were included in the invitation. The great sage Kishan was the one who personally conferred the title, so how could he not be there? Among them, Queen Mother, didn't you decide the quota for the Monkey King this time? The Jade Emperor turned his head and asked. Regarding the roster, I have already told you that all the famous immortals in heaven should be included in it. The Queen Mother's eyes narrowed. Fairy Xiantao, have you not added the name of the Monkey King? The Queen Mother stared at a little fairy beside her. This peach fairy is the fairy in charge of the roster of the peach conference. Report to the Queen Mother, the name of the Monkey King. Xiao Xian joined before. Xiantao replied. Added the name of Monkey King? Then why doesn't he have the name of Monkey King? The Jade Emperor said in a deep voice. This, Xiao Xian doesn't know either. Xiantao said with some fear. Jade Emperor, why not use the Haoshan mirror to take a closer look? The Queen Mother suggested. Good. Check it with the Haoshan mirror and everything will be clear. The Jade Emperor nodded. A mysterious force could only be cast towards the Haoshan mirror. Below, as the initiator of this matter, Yang Jian, was really panicked. The Haoshan mirror's magical power of time suddenly appeared. A fairy was determined. He placed the name on the list and handed it over to Yang Jian. At this time, the scene of Yang Jian using his hands and feet to eliminate the name of the Monkey King appeared in front of everyone. Obviously, everyone now understands why the Monkey King did not on the roster of the Pantayo conference. Everything is Yang Jian. Because of Yang Jian, this caused the great commotion of the Monkey King. It was also because of Yang Jian that the heavenly court was seriously embarrassed. In an instant, all eyes were staring at Yang Jian. Go. Among them, there is the Jade Emperor, the Queen Mother, and Yang Jian's ancestor Yuanqi Tianzun. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 182. All eyes were filled with anger. At this moment, for Yang Jian, it was no less than the feeling of facing thousands of thunders. Among these thousands of gazes, there are also a group of immortals. The reason why a group of immortals are angry. They are not angry because heaven is being slapped in the face. It wasn't because people were making a fuss about Tianting Peach Garden and Fairy Fruit Garden. But because of Yang Jian, these immortals can no longer eat the flat peach fairy fruit. The peach immortal fruit is a rare opportunity for those of them who do not have a senior background. But it was all because of Yang Jian's blind manipulation that they lost this opportunity. Among them, the most angry ones were naturally the Jade Emperor and Queen Mother, as well as Yuanqi Tianzun. Yuanqi Tianzun was angry because Yang Jian came from their sect. By doing this, he would lose the face of Yuanqi Tianzun. Oh my god, Yang Jian, it's because of you that this happened. The anger in the Jade Emperor's eyes was almost like real anger. Yang Jian's legs trembled and he quickly knelt on the ground. Jade Emperor, Yang Jian knew he was wrong. Yang Jian quickly begged for mercy. Know your mistake? Do you still know your mistake? If you knew you were wrong, what would you have done? The Jade Emperor's expression became even colder. In fact, some murderous intent had emerged. It's no wonder that the Jade Emperor was so angry and even wanted to kill Yang Jian. The Jade Emperor discovered Sun Wukong's terrifying talent and went to great lengths to get it. Heavenly Court promised a lot of treasures, and even told Heavenly Court to give Sun Wukong the name of Monkey King. He also gave good things, and also gave him fame and honor. The Jade Emperor originally thought that Sun Wukong would not make any changes again, and he would become the supreme sage of Heavenly Court in the future. A terrifying general. However, you, Yang Jian, made all my Jade Emperor's scheming turn into nothing. The Jade Emperor, Yang Jian is willing to make up for this mistake and go and capture the monster monkey. Yang Jian said quickly. Huh, capture. Do I want to capture him? What I want is for him to be loyal to heaven. But you, made his loyalty completely gone. The more the Jade Emperor talked, the more annoyed he became. His expression seemed to really want to kill Yang Jian. Although Yuanqi Tianzun on the side was also very angry with Yang Jian's behavior. But after all, he was his disciple and grandson. He and even the Jade Emperor, if this continues, Yang Jian will be killed. Yuanqi Tianzun naturally does not want Yang Jian to die like this. Jade Emperor, I am afraid that killing Yang Jian this time will not help. This Sun Wukong is inherently naughty. I think we can only capture him and bring him to heaven first, and then find a way to subdue him. Yuanqi Tianzun said. Yuanqi Tianzun spoke, and the Jade Emperor's anger was slightly reduced. Tianzun, how to conquer it? Is it possible that we can go there in person, said the Jade Emperor. Although Sun Wukong is gifted as a monster, from what I can see, his fighting power is just that of the great Luo Jingxian, so why should we go there in person? Yuanqi Tianzun said and glanced at Yang Jian. Although my disciple is smart and ignorant, he still has some fighting power, so why not let him go? If Sun Wukong is captured, although the merits cannot be made up for, it can be regarded as a sincere repentance. Yang Jian had already heard that this was his master Yuanqi Tianzun speaking to him. Yang Jian was deeply moved. The Jade Emperor glanced at Yuanqi Tianzun. To be honest, even if Yuanqi Tianzun spoke for Yang Jian, the Jade Emperor would still want to kill Yang Jian. But I think that after all, Yuanqi Tianzun is an important immortal in heaven, and many of his disciples also serve in heaven. If he loses face in this way, it will damage the unity of heaven. Since Tianzun speaks, let's do what Tianzun said. This matter is in the hands of Tianzun. The Jade Emperor said coldly. Yes, Jade Emperor. Yuanqi Tianzun frowned. The Jade Emperor said that he was in charge of this matter, which seemed to be giving him the power. However, there is another meaning in it. You, Yuanqi Tianzun, can't win this matter. If you take it, no less than you, Yuanqi Tianzun, are you asking? Yang Jian, you have also heard what the Jade Emperor said. This time you go to capture Sun Wukong on behalf of me. If so, if you fail to capture Sun Wukong, it will not be a shame for you, Yang Jian, but a shame for me, Yuanqi Tianzun. Yuanqi Tianzun stared at Yang Jian with cold eyes and scolded. Yes, Yang Jian knows. After Yang Jian nodded in response, he thought to himself, it's just a monster monkey, how could I, Yang Jian, miss? Taking him down will definitely take a matter of minutes. Yang Jian's idea is beautiful, but the reality is very skinny. Yang Jian's essence is the incense immortal, is the Deluo Jin immortal, but his combat power has dropped at least 10 times. Moreover, the three-pointed two-edged sword in his hand is no longer there. The weapon in his hand now is just the most common magic weapon. Yang Jian, you can order 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals to go. Yuan Shitianzun waved his hand, and a heavenly weapon order for dispatching heavenly soldiers and generals fell into Yang Jian's hands. Yes. Yang Jian responded. Then he stood in the void. 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals gathered together. The heavenly soldiers' order was unleashed. In an instant, 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals appeared in front of Yang Jian. Wait, follow me to the lower realm to capture the demon monkey Sun Wukong. Yang Jian scolded with great momentum. Yes. 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals responded one after another. In an instant, Yang Jian led 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals to Huaguo Mountain. At this moment, Sun Wukong had already returned to Huaguo Mountain. The first time he came back, Sun Wukong wanted to share it with his disciples. Then he gave each monkey grandson a piece of fairy fruit, flat peach. It has to be said that this fairy fruit, flat peach, is really not a mortal thing. After taking this fairy fruit, flat peach, many of the monkeys directly broke through to the realm of immortals. Even the bad ones, they are earth immortals or under-earth immortals. When a group of monkeys in Huaguo Mountain have achieved cultivation, it will be lively. Haha, I have some cultivation. I can take off. A group of monkeys were making a lot of noise. But Sun Wukong liked it the most. With the help of the fairy fruit given by Sun Wukong, the monkeys became immortals. Each of them was more convinced and respected Sun Wukong. Now Sun Wukong is a complete mountain king. And, he is also a very powerful mountain king. There are no less than 100,000 monkeys in Huaguo Mountain. Now that there are immortals and immortals among them, you can imagine how powerful they are. In just a moment, Yang Jian has arrived at Huaguo Mountain with 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals. Sun Wukong, come out and die. Yang Jian's scolding immediately spread throughout the Huaguo Mountain. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 183. Sun Wukong was still playing with the monkeys. Hearing this scolding, suddenly, a smile appeared on his face. Sun Wukong knew this voice as soon as he heard it. It was the Erlang god of heaven. In the past, Sun Wukong was very unhappy when he saw Yang Jian dragging him as if he were a millionaire. Sun Wukong used his magical power and glanced at the void. Discovered that Erlang god Yang Jian actually brought such heavenly soldiers and generals with the intention of suppressing him. Sun Wukong. Monkeys and grandsons, follow me to fight in the sky. Sun Wukong shouted. Okay, Your Majesty. Fight, fight. A group of monkeys and grandsons were very excited. These monkeys were originally ordinary monkeys. However, now that they have cultivated their abilities, none of them have had the opportunity to use their cultivation. But now that they have it, how can they not be excited? Just when Sun Wukong appeared with the monkey sun in the sky, all parties paid attention to this place. During the interception, Tongtian, although your disciple has many monkey descendants, I'm afraid I can't win this battle. The cultivation level of the heavenly soldiers and generals is similar to that of your disciple's monkey grandson, but the heavenly soldiers and generals all have magic weapons and weapons. Nuwa said. I already have a plan. Tongtian smiled. Then, the message was sent to Aojin in the Endless Sea. Aojin, let you gather 100,000 magic weapons and weapons from all over the world, regardless of level. After gathering them, Ask the Dragon King of the East China Sea to go to Honghuang mountain and give them to my disciples. Yes, Lord. Ao Jin, who was currently cultivating, immediately nodded in response after hearing the words. Immediately afterwards, he quickly sent orders to the world. If the Dragon Clan were to collect more than 100,000 acquired spiritual treasures, they would definitely not be able to do so. But Tongtian said that no matter the level, even if any treasure can be used. In this way, it is too easy for the Dragon Clan to come up with it. The Lord ordered to collect 10 levels of magical weapons and send them to Honghuang mountain immediately, the Lord's disciples. Ao Jin gave the order. The Dragon King of the Four Seas did not hesitate to start collecting weapons and magic weapons. In just a moment, all the 100,000 magic weapons were gathered and sent to Honghuang mountain by the Dragon King of the East China Sea. What happened? When did this Honghuang mountain have such a powerful monkey king? Moreover, those monkeys have all achieved cultivation, and there are no less than 100,000 of these monkeys. Tisk tisk, the monkey king of Honghuang mountain and his monkey grandson are facing off against Yangjian, the Erlang god of heaven. It seems that there is about to be a big battle. Many great powers from the prehistoric times stared at this direction and said one after another, "Junior brother, the war has finally begun. I just don't know if Sun Wukong and the monkeys, 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals, can take it down. If it can be won, it will definitely damage the strength and luck of heaven." Jiyan also stared at the empty path of Honghuang mountain. The heavenly court Jade Emperor Queen Mother Tais Hanglejun and Yuanshi Tianzun also saw this place. When the Jade Emperor saw that the monkeys and grandsons had actually cultivated, among them there were reached the realm of immortals. Suddenly, I was shocked and curious. What was shocking was that 100,000 monkeys had achieved cultivation, which was not ordinary. Although Sun Wukong's strength could not be shown by Deluo Jinxian, this group of monkeys together, the monkeys and grandsons still have the appearance of a powerful force. What is curious is that the last time the monkeys and grandsons visited Honghuang mountain, they were just ordinary monkeys. But now, how come they have such cultivation all of a sudden? Lejun, Tianzun, how come these monkeys and grandsons of Sun Wukong have achieved cultivation? Jade Emperor Haoshan asked. The old man on the stage beside him did not speak. On the contrary, Yuanshi Tianzun said with a somewhat stiff expression on his face, "Jade Emperor, I am afraid that Sun Wukong will give away the peach fairy fruit that he looted this time." All the monkeys and grandsons also ate it, and that's how they achieved such a level of cultivation. The Jade Emperor Haoshan's eyes froze after hearing this. Yes, Sun Wukong looted all the peaches and fairy fruits in the peach garden and the fairy orchard. Those fairy fruits and peaches may not have a too shocking effect on reaching the existence of the golden immortal. But for ordinary creatures, its effect is too great. It is not too simple to become an immortal overnight. In the past, these flat peach immortal fruits were only eligible for use by those with heavenly immortality and above golden immortality. Sun Wukong gave it to a group of ordinary monkeys. The Jade Emperor was so depressed that he almost vomited blood. It's really abominable. He actually rewarded ordinary creatures with the flat peaches and fairy fruits from his palace. After the Jade Emperor captures Sun Wukong, you have to take care of him. The Queen Mother was beside her, very angry and resentful. The expression on her face was even murderous. To be honest, although the Jade Emperor Haoshan admired Sun Wukong very much, he also felt angry in his heart at this moment. First, he ransacked the heaven and defected. And then rewarded flat peaches and fairy fruits to ordinary creatures. One slap after another, but the slap on the face of heaven was too painful. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 184. When Sun Wukong, with his monkeys and grandsons, faced Yang Jian and 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals, Yang Jian looked stiff. This group of monkeys and descendants numbered less than 100,000. Not to mention the quantity. All these monkeys and grandsons have actually achieved cultivation. And his cultivation level is not low, almost the same as the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals. Originally, Yang Jian thought that it was inevitable to win Sun Wukong. However, these 100,000 monkeys and monkeys who had achieved cultivation immediately doubled his pressure. Just when Yang Jian was being scolded twice, reprimanding Sun Wukong for his guilt. East China Sea direction. Several dragon bodies appeared across the sky. Ouch! After several dragon chants were uttered in unison, everyone in Honghuang stared at each other. Dragon Clan. Dragon King of the East China Sea. What are they here for? The great powers in the prehistoric times are very curious. Lejun, do you know the purpose of this dragon clan going to Huaguo Mountain? Haoshan, the Jade Emperor of the Heavenly Court, also had a very puzzled look on his face and asked the Supreme Lord. Don't know, Tianting Lejun shook his head and said. Previously, when Sun Wukong went to the East China Sea to retrieve the treasure, Heavenly Court Jade Emperor Haoshan and others did not pay attention. Heavenly Court and others did not pay attention, but the Western Sex Guidance and Zunti were attention. Junior brother, what do you mean by this dragon clan going to Huaguo Mountain? Is it to help Sun Wukong? Ji Yin's eyes flashed and he said it would be great if the dragon clan helped Sun Wukong start the war. The dragon clan's fighting power is more than 100 times stronger than Sun Wukong. If they fight, the Jade Emperor of Heaven will probably be touched. I'm afraid the dragon clan won't come to join the battle. After all, the dragon clan only comes with a few dragons. If the dragon clan goes to war, it will be all dragons. Zunti shook his head and said. That's right, the dragon clan has always had masters. It was the dragon clan's leader Aojin who took Wanlong on a trip. This time there were only a few dragon kings of the East China Sea, so it didn't look like a war. However, what is the meaning of going to Huaguo Mountain at this sudden time? Ji Yin was very curious. I don't know either, Zunti shook his head again. Several dragon bodies crossed the sky, and within a moment, they had already reached the void of Huaguo Mountain. Brother Sun, long time no see, don't come. Honghuang, the Dragon King of the East China Sea, saluted and said with a smile. Brother Sun? Are you okay? Is Sun Wukong familiar with the Dragon King of the East China Sea? All the powerful people in the prehistoric era were shocked. How did Sun Wukong become friends with the Dragon Clan? When exactly did it happen? The Jade Emperor of Heaven was full of curiosity. The most shocked one was Yang Jian. How could he not have thought that Sun Wukong still had friendship with the Dragon Clan? Yang Jian knew how powerful the Dragon Clan was when he was conferring gods to measure calamity. His fellow sect junior brother Neza and fellow martial uncle Tai Jinren were torn apart by the Dragon Clan. The Dragon Clan suddenly appeared, and Yang Jian's eyes showed a bit of vigilance. It turns out to be Brother Honghuang. Why does Brother Honghuang come to my place? When Sun Wukong saw Honghuang, a smile immediately appeared on his face. I heard that Brother Sun was at war with the heavenly soldiers and generals, so I sent some gifts to Brother Sun to help him out. Honghuang laughed. Help? Giving gifts? What kind of gift does the Dragon Clan want to give? The great powers in the prehistoric times are very curious. There is nothing special in my Sci-fi Dragon Palace, but there are countless magic weapons and weapons. Today, Brother Sun and Monkey Sun are going to war. How can Monkey Sun not have magic weapons? Today I, Honghuang, am bringing 100,000 magical weapons to give to Brother Sun's monkey grandson. After Honghuang finished speaking, he waved his hand, and more than 100,000 rays of light appeared across the sky. 100,000 magical weapons. The Dragon Clan actually gave such a big gift. Tisk, 100,000 monkeys and descendants, equipped with magic weapons and weapons, their combat effectiveness has been doubled. This battle is probably going to be exciting. All the great masters in the prehistoric era said secretly. The Jade Emperor of Heaven and others all had their eyes stiffened. They did not expect that the Dragon Clan would be so generous. 100,000 magical weapons and weapons, even if they are not classified into different levels, are not something that ordinary people can hold. Take action. 100,000 monkeys and monkeys are already very strong. Now that they have magical weapons, they are naturally stronger. Yang Jian's eyes were stunned. When he saw 100,000 monkeys and monkeys with cultivation level, he felt twice as stressed. It's so big. Now the Dragon Clan has sent magic weapons and weapons. How can we fight this battle? If this fight continues, I'm afraid the 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals will lose. The 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals will lose, even if he defeats Sun Wukong, it will be the same, he still lost face to heaven. Originally, he made amends with his faults, but in the end he still brought shame to heaven. He was afraid that he would not be able to do the job even if he went back. Haha, okay, I was worried that my monkey grandson would not have any magic weapons, but to my surprise, Brother Aoguang sent them to me. Sun Wukong looked very happy. Monkey grandson, please quickly thank Brother Aoguang. Sun Wukong waved his hand and shouted towards the monkey son. Thank you Dragon Clan Dragon King for sending me the treasure. The thanks of hundreds of thousands of monkeys and monkeys resounded throughout the world. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 185. Brother Sun, you're welcome. Now that I have given you a gift, it's time for me to retire. Aoguang gave a farewell ceremony to Sun Wukong. Before leaving, Aoguang glanced at Yang Jian. Aoguang's eyes showed a cold look. Brother Sun is a close friend of my Dragon Clan. If you are so provocative in heaven, if my brother Sun, it's okay if nothing happens, but if something happens, our Dragon Clan will definitely go to heaven to ask for an explanation, as soon as. Aoguang said this. Yang Jian was stunned. The Jade Emperor of Heaven, Yuanqi Tianzun, and Tais Hanglejun were also stunned. What does this mean? It is obvious that Yu Heaven and Huiguo Mountain can start a war. Sun Wukong, it's okay to hit your heavenly court or seriously injure your heavenly court. But if your heavenly court dares to hurt Sun Wukong, then don't blame us Dragon Clan. You're welcome. Tisk tisk, when the Dragon King of the East China Sea said this, he made it clear that he wanted heaven to be beaten. This Dragon King of the East China Sea is really domineering, and he really protects Sun Wukong. Now heavenly court is going to have a big headache. It's okay to be beaten. If you beat Sun Wukong, I'm afraid the Dragon Clan is very likely to cause trouble. Traveling with thousands of dragons is extremely scary. The great masters from the prehistoric era said secretly. Yang Jian felt very uncomfortable at the moment. You, the Dragon Clan, gave you the magic weapon, so that's it? In the end, you even said harsh words. What should I do? I hit and injured Sun Wukong, and you want to make trouble for me. If I don't fight and return to heaven, the Jade Emperor will definitely not let him go. Yang Jian just wants to say, I am too difficult. In fact, Yang Jian will not have such troubles at all. There is no other reason. In front of Sun Wukong, Yang Jian has not an opponent. He will only be beaten, Yang Jian. When Yang Jian feels uncomfortable. Monkeys and grandsons, I will give you some fruit to satisfy your hunger first, and then we will start the war. Sun Wukong said and waved his big hand. In an instant, 100,000 spiritual fruit-flat peaches appeared in the void. Then, they fell into the hands of a group of monkeys. Seeing this scene, all the great masters in the prehistoric era were stunned. This, Where did Sun Wukong get the fairy fruit flat peach? And there are so many. Tisk tisk, could it be that Sun Wukong robbed the fairy fruit garden and the peach garden in heaven? If so, it makes sense that Sun Wukong robbed the fairy fruit garden and the peach garden in heaven, and heaven sent Yang Jian to suppress it? Tisk tisk, this Sun Wukong is really a powerful person. He ransacked the fairy fruit garden and the peach garden in heaven. His courage and ability are not ordinary. Sun Wukong is not only powerful, but he is also really willing to give up. 100,000 fairy fruits and flat peaches were given to monkeys and monkeys. I'm afraid that these monkeys and monkeys were able to cultivate themselves because Sun Wukong fed them the fairy fruit flat peaches. 100,000 monkeys and descendants were already as good as the heavenly soldiers and generals in the past. Later, they added magical weapons, and now they have the fairy fruit flat peach presented by Sun Wukong. In this battle, the heavenly soldiers and generals in heaven are at stake. A series of voices of discussion and surprise came from the mouths of the great masters in the ancient world. The Jade Emperor and the Queen Mother in heaven saw this scene. Their faces shook with anger. You just looted the flat peach fairy fruit and gave it to the monkey grandson. Just take it. However, you actually gave so many peaches to monkeys and monkeys in front of them, and said they were just for filling their stomachs. Are the peaches in their heaven so worthless? So cheap? Heavenly Lord, hurry up and ask Li Jing, the heavenly king of Tota, to send another 100,000 heavenly troops there. The Jade Emperor sent more men, not only because he was more angry. He also felt that Yang Jian and the 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals could no longer defeat Sun Wukong and those monkeys. Yes, Jade Emperor. Yuan Shitianzun nodded in response. Then, he quickly sent an order to the Tower King Li Jing. This Tower King Li Jing was originally a guard of Das Hang during the conferred god period. Later Neza reincarnated and joined Li Jing's family. Tai Genren accepted Neza at that time. Li Jing was also included in the Chanjiao. At that time, Li Jing felt that the Chanjiao was very powerful and he would be able to achieve something by joining the Chanjiao. But in the end, he was unexpectedly killed by the Jijiao and entered the list of gods. Li Jing, the king of Tota, quickly brought 100,000 yuan to the Chanjiao. The heavenly soldiers and generals rushed towards the flower and fruit mountain. Yang Jian saw Sun Wukong throwing the flat peach fairy fruit to the monkey son as if it was worthless, and his head was as big as a hemp. From being very stressed before, to feeling reluctant to fight, and now seeing this scene, he knew very well in his heart, he was afraid that he would completely defeat the monkeys and monkeys in Honghuang mountain. The monkeys and monkeys were all taking the fairy fruit flat peach at the moment. After taking it, their combat power would naturally double. 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals would not be as strong as the fairy fruit flat peach, so a battle would be inevitable. Can only be beaten. I, the heavenly king of Pagoda, respect the Jade Emperor's order and help the Erlang god Yang Jian to suppress Sun Wukong in Honghuang mountain. A scolding came out. Li Jing, the king of the tower, appeared in the void with another 100,000 heavenly soldiers. Tisk tisk, it seems that heaven also knows that 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals are not enough to deal with Sun Wukong and Monkey Sun. An additional 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals were sent, which is really a big deal. However, no matter how I look at it, even if an extra 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals are sent, this battle will be won by Monkey King and Monkey from Honghuang mountain. All the powerful people in the prehistoric era discussed one after another. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 186. When Yang Jian saw that Li Jing, the king of towers, had brought another 100,000 heavenly soldiers and generals, he immediately looked overjoyed. He thought in his heart, with 200,000 heavenly soldiers and generals, plus him and Li Jing, the king of Tota, this battle would definitely be won. Sun Wukong, our 200,000 heavenly soldiers and generals are here, why don't you surrender quickly? Yang Jian's face once again showed a hint of 2,580,000. Do you want me to surrender? What a joke. Sun Wukong smiled disdainfully. Monkey, monkey, are you full? Sun Wukong turned his head and shouted to the monkeys. The king is full. A group of monkeys responded. Okay, then let's fight with this king. Sun Wukong shouted loudly, and in an instant, the Dingai Shenzhen was sacrificed. In an instant, Sun Wukong's powerful power was displayed. Now Sun Wukong has reached the 9th level of De Luo Jingxian. His aura is extremely powerful. Let the war begin. Let the war begin. A group of monkeys and descendants immediately offered sacrifices to the magical weapons given by the Dragon King of the East China Sea. After devouring the fairy fruit and flat peaches, this group of monkeys and descendants increased their strength to a higher level. Those three eyes, and the King of Tota, I have long been unhappy with you. When Sun Wukong went to heaven for the first time, Yang Jian pulled him like 25,800,000 yuan, and Sun Wukong seemed to have beaten him. And the King of Towers was the same. Several times they met, the King of Towers used this disdain. The look in his eyes made Sun Wukong very angry. Before in heaven, there was no reason or opportunity to beat them. Now it's better. It's legitimate to beat them. Come and fight. Sun Wukong's Si Dingjing Divine Needle is the first to move forward. Sun Wukong's Si Dingjing Divine Needle is an acquired treasure, and among the queens, it belongs to the most powerful stream and has the ability to fix the sea. On the 9th level of Sun Wukong's De Luo Golden Immortal, you can imagine that it will be thrown out in the world. Among Luo Jingxian, few can compare with him. During the period of being a god, Yang Jian was the strongest representative among the three generations of disciples of Zhijiao. Holding the three-pointed two-edged sword of the divine weapon, he worshipped the real person and sat down with the strange beast roaring in the sky. Dog, so majestic. But after becoming a god, although his realm barely remained at De Luo Jingxian, his combat power was barely at the first level of De Luo Jingxian. What's more, his three-pointed two-edged sword had already been cut off. The disciple of the sect took it away. The magic weapon in his hand now looks very similar to the three-pointed two-edged sword from before. But in terms of level and power, it is more than 100 times lower. The previous Sun Wukong had the hidden heaven divine formation, so his combat prowess and realm are not known to others. But now, with his power unleashed, his combat prowess and strength are instantly revealed. This Sun Wukong is so strong. He is at the 9th level of De Luo Golden Immortal. The combat power of this strike alone is not much weaker than that of Quasi Sage killing a corpse. Tisk tisk, this Sun Wukong is so strange. He has never shown any strength before, and we can't see it. I didn't expect that. Now that he has shown strength, he is so strong and has the ability to leapfrog challenges. Sun Wukong's combat power is comparable to that of a Quasi Sage, but Yang Jian's combat power is only one level of De Luo Jingxian. It seems that Yang Jian is going to be miserable. All the great masters in the prehistoric era were surprised. Yang Jian, who was originally as strong as 2,580,000, saw the display of Sun Wukong's realm combat power. He was as panicked as a dog. In his eyes, Sun Wukong is not the strongest but the golden immortal. He can take care of it casually. Sun Wukong. But now, Sun Wukong is obviously the 9th level of De Luo Jingxian, even comparable to a Quasi Sage slaying a corpse. Especially the combat power of the stick, even the strongest self in the past, cannot compare with Sun Wukong. Not to mention now he is just an incense immortal, and his combat power has dropped more than 10 times compared to what he once was. Roaring Sky Dog, come and help me. Yang Jian quickly shouted towards the roaring heavenly dog who was sitting down. This roaring heavenly dog was also on the list of gods like Yang Jian before. The roaring heavenly dog was a golden immortal before, but now it is naturally weaker. I have to say, the roaring sky dog is very loyal to Yang Jian. Even though he obviously knew that Sun Wukong was very scary, he rushed forward without hesitation. The roaring sky dog opened its bloody mouth and wanted to swallow Sun Wukong in one bite. However, this was obviously asking for death. Road. Let alone now, roaring sky dog is in its strongest state ever. Facing such a strong Sun Wukong, the only fate is to have his teeth broken. And now it will be even worse. Sun Wukong's stick fell on roaring sky dog first. Bang! A sound that shook the world came out. The roaring sky dog's physical body was instantly shattered. And the little soul that was born from the condensed list of gods also fell apart at this moment. The roaring sky dog was taken away with one blow. The soul and the physical body, the kind that disappears between heaven and earth comma. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoyan. Chapter 187. According to the normal journey to the west, when Sun Wukong and Yang Jian fought, Sun Wukong and Yang Jian were about the same fighting strength. It could be because of the wretched appearance of roaring sky dog that Sun Wukong paid homage. But now, Sun Wukong killed the roaring dog with one stick. Roaring sky dog is dead, and one can imagine that it will be Yang Jian's turn next. When Yang Jian saw the strange beast he was sitting on, his face immediately disappeared, and his face changed in shock. He quickly shouted to King Tota, come and help me. King Tota looked at Sun Wukong, and to be honest, he was extremely afraid in his heart now. Originally, King Tota, like Yang Jian, thought that it would be easy to win over Sun Wukong. But it didn't come true, he thought too well. It wasn't that it was easy for them to take down Sun Wukong, but now it's easy for Sun Wukong to deal with them. At this moment, King Tota really regretted it. He really shouldn't have accepted this mission and came to capture Sun Wukong. Isn't this a toilet light? King Tota, why are you still hesitating? Come and fight Sun Wukong with me, otherwise we will all be finished. Yang Jian saw that King Tota was still not moving, so he quickly shouted again. To be honest, if he had a choice, King Tota would just ignore Yang Jian and go back to heaven by himself. But there was no way. He listened to Yuan Shi Tianzun's order, come to assist Erlang Shen in capturing Sun Wukong. If he ignores Yang Jian and returns directly to heaven, I am afraid that the Jade Emperor of Heaven will not let him go. Erlang Shen, here I come. Li Jing jumped into the air. Golden exquisite tower out. Li Jing scolded. The pagoda in his hand came out from the sky. Speaking of this golden exquisite pagoda, Li Jing originally gave it to him during the period of becoming a god, and used it to deal with generals like Huang Fihu, the great merchant. But unexpectedly, Li Jing didn't have it at all. The opportunity to use it was directly destroyed by Jijiao. This golden exquisite tower is an acquired spiritual treasure. It has the power to suppress living beings. As long as it is covered by this golden exquisite tower, ordinary living beings cannot escape at all. The golden exquisite tower instantly becomes giant. 10,000 times. He moved towards Sun Wukong to suppress him. Sun Wukong raised his head and glanced coldly. Can your magic weapon be transformed into a giant? My Sun Wukong stabbed you through. Ruyi golden cudgel, giant. Sun Wukong scolded. In an instant, the Dingation needle soared into the sky, and its speed immediately increased. But in the blink of an eye, the Dingation needle was nearly 10,000 times larger than before. The golden exquisite pagoda is only an acquired spiritual treasure, and the Dingai divine needle is an acquired treasure. One can imagine who is stronger and who is weaker. The Dingai divine needle, which was 10,000 times larger, struck towards the Huanglinglong tower with a fierce blow. Bang! A sound that shook the world came out. I saw that the sea-fixing needle penetrated the Huanglinglong tower in one fell swoop. Gee, that Sun Wukong's magic weapon is very powerful. That Ruyi golden cudgel is really a good treasure. The eyes of all the powerful people in the prehistoric period moved. Li Jing, the king of the tower, saw this scene and panicked instantly. The king of the tower was just an ordinary mortal. Although he later entered the teaching, his cultivation level was very weak. His combat power was all due to this golden exquisite tower. But now the golden exquisite tower has been pierced by Sun Wukong's Dingai needle. It can be said that his golden exquisite tower is useless. The Ruyi golden cudgel smashed this broken tower to pieces for me. Sun Wukong shouted again. The Dingai divine needle instantly struck across the sky. Bang! Another loud noise came out. I saw that the Dingai Shenzhen blasted the golden exquisite tower into rubbish with a direct blow. Seeing this scene, Li Jing, the king of the tower, was heartbroken. This was the basis of his strength, but it was gone. The golden exquisite tower was shattered like this. It was actually smashed to pieces. Tisk tisk, this Sun Wukong is really cruel. The battle between these two people in heaven is hanging in the balance. The great masters of the ancient world said. The golden exquisite tower is broken, and Sun Wukong has no way to stop him. Yang Jian, it's your turn. Come to death. Sun Wukong's sea-dinging needle slammed towards Yang Jian with one blow. Yang Jian had no one to shout. In a panic, he quickly took out a copycat version of the three-pointed two-edged sword, intending to stop Sun Wukong. But it was a pity. A copycat version. How can the three-pointed two-edged sword block the Dingai divine needle? Bang! A loud noise came. Yang Jian's copycat version of the three-pointed two-edged sword was first shattered. Yang Jian was very painful when he saw this scene. But all the incense immortals on the list of gods are not ordinary poor. Yang Jian was once a magic weapon, they were all taken away by Jijiao. When I was on the list of gods, I had nothing. Just this copycat version of the three-pointed two-edged sword was specially gifted by the Jade Emperor when he saw that a general in heaven had no magic weapon. He was so poor. However, it is gone now. But today, it is not just his copycat version of the three-pointed two-edged sword that is gone. I am afraid that even his person is gone underscore, comma. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 188. Sun Wukong's sea-ding needle blasted directly towards Yang Jian. Yang Jian's expression changed with panic. He quickly used his own power to fight back. Even the magical weapon can't resist the Dingai Shen needle, let alone now that he can fight back with his own power. The Dingai Shenzhen struck down from top to bottom. The power Yang Jian displayed was broken first. Immediately afterwards, the Tao body was directly blasted into pieces by a single blow. A little bit of soul fire was left behind, and he was very confused in the void. However, the panicked look lasted no more than 3 seconds. The Dingai divine needle swept across. Yang Jian was completely taken away. When he was conferred the title of God, Yang Jian saved his life because of the conferred God list. But in Journey to the West, there is no list of gods. This time, Yang Jian was completely dead. Li Jing, the king of the pagoda who had just had his golden exquisite pagoda destroyed, looked at the scene and felt frightened in his heart. Although Feng Shen failed miserably by following the Chen religion, he later saved his life and became an immortal in heaven. Although he is under the control of the Jade Emperor of Heaven, he is still pretty good, at least no worse than when he was a general soldier in Dashang when he became a god. He didn't want to die. The next moment Yang Jian died. King Tota escaped without hesitation. He was still the kind of person who didn't even say a word. When he left, he didn't even summon his subordinates, the heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals. Tisk tisk, the heavenly king of Tota in heaven was scared away. This Sun Wukong is really scary. Tisk tisk, one of the two immortals in heaven died, and the other fled in a hurry. This time, heaven may be embarrassed. The great masters of the prehistoric era said with ridicule. The great masters of the prehistoric world have no good impressions of the heavenly court. The heavenly court is embarrassed, and they are very happy to watch the show. Yang Jian died, and the king of Tota escaped. The remaining heavenly soldiers and generals, how can he still be the opponent of Sun Wukong and all the monkeys and monkeys? But in the blink of an eye, a quarter of the 200,000 heavenly soldiers were lost. If this continues, it will only take a moment at most for the 200,000 heavenly soldiers to be lost here. Western cult. Jiyan and Zunti were extremely happy. Those more than 200,000 heavenly soldiers represent the destiny and strength of heaven. If they are all lost in the hands of Sun Wukong, the destiny and strength of heaven will be greatly damaged. This is very difficult for them. Things I'd like to see. Senior brother, this Sun Wukong is not bad, he will definitely become a great talent in my Western education in the future, Zunti said with satisfaction. Yes, one day, he will be the supreme Buddha of our Western religion, Jiyan also nodded. The two of them are very similar. From now on, Sun Wukong will be their Western sect. Above the heaven. The look on Jade Emperor Haoshan's face is very ugly. It's okay for Yang Jian to die. Trust me. King Tatian actually escaped. What a disgrace to heaven. How a disgrace to the Jade Emperor Haoshan. Tianzun, is this a disciple of your sect? Jade Emperor Haoshan shouted coldly. Yuanqi Tianzun's face froze. He didn't expect that these two people under his sect would be so careless. Tianzun, I don't care what you do, even if you go there in person, Sun Wukong must be captured today. Jade Emperor Haoshan had a stern look on his face. It's good that Jade Emperor Haoshan valued Sun Wukong very much. But he couldn't lose the face of heaven and the Jade Emperor just because he valued Sun Wukong. This was something he would never allow. Yuanqi Tianzun's face froze. Once upon a time, he was the leader of a dignified sect. Now he has really been reduced to being shouted at. And he can't refute and resist. The list of gods is in the hands of Jade Emperor Haoshan, and he, Yuanqi Tianzun, can only obey orders. Yes, Jade Emperor. Yuanqi Tianzun nodded. Then he shouted to the immortals below. Guangqinzi, Yunzongzi, you two come out and go to suppress Sun Wukong. If you can't suppress Sun Wukong, you two don't have to come back. Yuanqi Tianzun scolded him coldly. After being shouted at by the Jade Emperor, it would be a lie to say that Yuanqi Tianzun was not angry. But in front of Jade Emperor Haoshan, he did not dare to vent at all. He could only vent his anger on himself. Disciple. Guangqinzi and Yunzongzi were also people who were on the list of gods. They were both powerful at killing 3 corpses. But now, their combat power is only slightly better than Deluo Jingxian, barely reaching the level of quasi-sage killing 1 corpse. Level. Guangqinzi and Yunzongzi both saw how tough Sun Wukong was just now. They stood up with sad faces. To be honest, they didn't want to go. But when they saw the look on Yuanqi Tianzun's face, they don't have the guts to refuse. Is teacher. The two people replied in a humble voice. When the two people replied, they didn't have the slightest confidence in their faces that they could defeat Sun Wukong _. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 189. Yang Jian died, Li Jing escaped, and nearly half of the 200,000 heavenly troops were lost. I wonder if heaven was slapped in the face like this. Tisk tisk, if heavenly court was slapped in the face by a Deluo Jinxian, the look on the Jade Emperor's face would be very exciting. The great powers of the prehistoric period were talking a lot. Guangquanzi and Yunzongzi were forced by Yuanshi Tianzun and the Jade Emperor. They had no choice but to go to Huaguo Mountain from the heavenly court. But in the blink of an eye, the two of them had arrived at the void of Huaguo Mountain. Superior. I am the son of Guangcheng in heaven. My heavenly cloud neutron. On the orders of the Jade Emperor and the Heavenly Lord, we came to capture Sun Wukong. The voices of Guangquanzi and Yunzongzi came out, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Guangquanzi and Yunzongzi, before becoming gods, were extremely majestic. There were many powerful people in the prehistoric era, but they were beaten by these two people. Look at each other. Seeing these two people, many powerful people in the prehistoric era have no good expressions. Guangquanzi, Yunzongzi. Unexpectedly, heaven would send these two. However, after the battle between these two gods, they were on the list of gods, and their current strength is probably only at the level of killing a corpse. This Monkey King's combat power is comparable to that of killing a corpse. There is no pressure to fight against these two people. Best, Sun Wukong beats these two people to death, said the great masters of the prehistoric times. Obviously, the great masters of the prehistoric times who had been slapped in the face by Guangquanzi and Yunzongzi all wanted to see the two people's real death. When the two appeared, they were naturally noticed by Sun Wukong. A group of weak heavenly soldiers and generals have long made it boring for Sun Wukong to fight. Now that a powerful character comes, Sun Wukong instantly becomes energetic. Sun Wukong, hurry up and capture him. Guangquanzi scolded. Although Guangquanzi and Yunzongzi were a little afraid of Sun Wukong, they had already been sent down. They would not kneel down and beg for mercy directly. They still wanted to capture Sun Wukong. Let me be captured without any help? Just the two of you. Joke. Sun Wukong smiled disdainfully. Sun Wukong is warlike, and the more powerful his opponents are, the more interested he is. At this moment, his fighting spirit has soared. Now that you are here, stop talking nonsense and fight. I hope you two won't be as impatient as Yang Zheng. Then Sample King would have no interest in it. After Sun Wukong gave a cold drink, the Dingai Divine Needle was sacrificed. The powerful power was displayed in the void. Seeing the power displayed by the Dingai Divine Needle, Guangquanzi Yunzongzi's pupils shrank. When the two of them became gods, they both had a lot the ultimate treasure. Among them, Guangquanzi possesses the strongest Fantian seal among the acquired treasures. But unfortunately, after the battle of conferred gods, Guangquanzi's Fantian seal also fell into the hands of Jijiao disciples. Now the magic weapons in the hands of the two people, that is, ordinary acquired spiritual treasures. Seeing the Dingai Shenzhen being sacrificed, the two of them felt even more wary, but they did not dare to hesitate. In an instant, they also sacrificed their respective acquired spiritual treasures. After the two acquired spiritual treasures were sacrificed, in terms of power, it is not even half as powerful as Sun Wukong's Dingai Divine Needle. The Dingai Divine Needle blasted out. The two Hushan Lingbao immediately stopped them. Boom! There was a loud noise. The magic weapons of Guangquanzi and Yunzongzi were only acquired spiritual treasures. But their strength was comparable to that of a quasi-sage who beheaded a corpse. So with this blow, the two of them relied on their own power to kill a corpse. It can prevent their acquired spiritual treasures from being directly smashed into pieces. However, although they are not shattered, there are huge and terrifying cracks on the two magic weapons. One blow may not be able to break the two magic weapons. But two blows, three if they hit each other, it might be impossible. When the two of them saw their magic weapon, they received a blow, and they became like this. Their expressions suddenly became stiff. However, just when their faces were stiff, Sun Wukong did not hesitate at all, and then it was a blow. The two subconsciously used their magic weapons to resist again. Boom! Another loud noise came out. The magic weapons of the two people had been broken before, and now there was another blow. As you can imagine, I saw that the acquired magic weapons of the two people were directly bombarded into dregs. Guangqinzi, Yunzongzi, they panicked all of a sudden. The magic weapon was reduced to rubbish. Their strength was bound to be reduced by several %. Just now, Sun Wukong hit the sea-dinging needle twice, and they had already clearly felt it. Although Sun Wukong was only Deluo Jingxian, he was super strong. The two of them, a person can still cope with one or two things if he has a magic weapon, but without a magic weapon, he can only get beaten. Guangqinzi and Yunzongzi were unable to fight back under Sun Wukong's two attacks. This time, I'm afraid it will fall into the hands of Sun Wukong. All the great masters in the prehistoric times were discussing one after another. It turns out that you are just as intolerant of beatings. If that's the case, then you all die. Sun Wukong is very angry. What's annoying is that heaven always sends some useless people down. Doesn't this mean that he underestimates his son Wukong? He, Sun Wukong, can be dealt with by just a random person? Do you want to deal with it? I, Sun Wukong, should at least find a powerful person to come down. These crooked melons and cracked jujubes are disgusting to see. This means that Guangqinzi and Yunzongzi did not hear what Sun Wukong was thinking. Otherwise, we will definitely die of suffocation. We come down to die, you actually think we are too rubbish? Honghuang, I can reach the sky without realizing the great way, and I will never change my form to author, Honghuang Xiaoan. Chapter 190. Guangqinzi and Yunzongzi, although they are just incense immortals. But there was glory in the past. Being looked down upon by Sun Wukong, a younger generation, naturally made him angry. Sun Wukong, I will fight with you. I will fight with you too. Guangqinzi and Yunzongzi showed strong and crazy behavior. It's rare that Guangqinzi and Yunzongzi actually tried their best. However, it's normal. These two people became famous after becoming gods. How could they not be angry when they were looked down upon like this? However, it is useless to try desperately. After all, it is just incense immortal. Sun Wukong is so powerful that the two of them cannot deal with Sun Wukong at all. The great masters of the prehistoric era said, if it were Guangqinzi and Yunzong in the conferred god period, it would be no problem to deal with Sun Wukong. But now, they can only be beaten. Under the madness of the two people, all their power was sacrificed. Looking at the crazy expressions, it looks quite scary. However, it can only scare people. Completely strong on the outside but weak on the inside. The two of them used all their power. Sun Wukong struck out with the sea-fixing needle, and easily blasted away the two people's magical power. Immediately afterwards, Sun Wukong took advantage of the situation and took action. The Dingai divine needle hit Yunzongzi's physical body with one blow. Yunzongzi was once the one who could kill 3 corpses. After becoming the incense immortal, his strength dropped a lot, but how to reduce it, it would be better than Yang Jianqiang. Yang Jian couldn't withstand Sun Wukong's blow, but Yunzongzi withstood it. However, he withstood it, and the injury was not light. The Taoist body condensed on the Feng Shen Bang was instantly full of cracks. Yunzongzi's face changed. A change. Being looked down upon by Sun Wukong, they were very angry. But they were also afraid of death. Seeing that they were seriously injured and could not withstand the next blow, Yunzongzi hurriedly ran away. Yunzongzi's escape was only Guangqinzi was in front. Sun Wukong struck again. Guangqinzi suddenly became miserable. Sun Wukong's blow landed directly on Guangqinzi's Taoist body. A dull sound came out. Only blood floated in the air. Guangquanzi's there were countless scars on the Dao body. After Guangquanzi was seriously injured, his madness also cooled down. At this moment, his heart became full of fear. Yun Zongzi, let's go. We can't defeat the Sun Wukong. If we continue to fight, there will be only death. Guangquanzi shouted to Yun Zongzi. At this moment, Guangquanzi no longer cares about teachers or Jade Emperor. Living is the most important thing. In fact, Yun Zongzi and Guangquanzi have already had the same idea. Senior brother, let's leave quickly. Yun Zongzi replied, and his body was immediately ready to escape. Guangquanzi was also ready to escape immediately. However, how could Sun Wukong let them escape? Before, Li Jing's escape made Sun Wukong very angry. Now Guangquanzi and Yun Zongzi wanted to leave, but Sun Wu's body appeared in a flash and blocked Guangquanzi and Yun Zongzi. Want to leave? Did this king agree? Sun Wukong's whole person showed strong tisk. Guangquanzi and Yun Zongzi actually want to escape. I really laughed. How could these two people be so arrogant today? However, it seems that they want to escape, but Sun Wukong doesn't give them a chance. It seems that the two of them are going to die. The great masters of the prehistoric era who had been saddened by Guangquanzi and Yun Zongzi saw Sun Wukong preparing to kill, and they immediately became energetic. At this moment, in heaven, the Jade Emperor's face was very ugly. Sun Wukong was so powerful that it was beyond the limit. His prediction. Yang Jian has been damaged before, and now according to the rhythm, Guangquanzi and Yun Zongzi will also be damaged. Although the conditions in heaven are getting better now. It is not as good as when the Bear Commander was in the past, but if the damage continues like this, the Jade Emperor it was also uncomfortable in his heart. Originally, he thought that Guangquanzi and Yun Zongzi sent by Yuanqi Tianzun could not win. Even if they could not win, they could still deal with Sun Wukong. If Guangquanzi and Yun Zongzi were defeated, the 200,000 heavenly soldiers and generals would also be defeated. Damage. How could the Jade Emperor watch helplessly? Jade Emperor, how can you still let Sun Wukong continue to act nonsense? If you don't take action, I will. The Queen Mother Yaokai on the side looked very angry. The Queen Mother on the side was obviously anxious and angry. It seems that only this emperor took action personally. This Sun Wukong is so silly, he should be taught to remember something today. Jade Emperor Haoshan's face darkened. Seeing that Jade Emperor Haoshan was about to take action, Western sect, Jiyin, and Zunti's expressions changed. Junior brother, it seems that it's time for us to go out and agree with the Jade Emperor Haoshan that Sun Wukong will be the one to journey to the west. Jiyin said. Good. Zunti nodded. In an instant, 2 avenues of holy power flew across the sky, and in just a blink of an eye, they were already in the heaven. Jade Emperor, wait. As soon as the Holy Majesty arrived, the words came out. Pick up and mention. Seeing Jiyin Zunti, Jade Emperor Haoshan paused for a moment. Then he asked with curiosity, I don't know what the 2 saints are here for. Jade Emperor, do you ever remember that your teacher said that the calamity of the journey to the west is about to come, and I will schedule the journey to the west in the west, Jiyin said with a smile. Jade Emperor Haoshan's expression changed. How could he not remember this matter? He remembered it very clearly. The 2 saints, Haoshan naturally remembered this matter, but now that the calamity of the journey to the west has not yet come, why did the 2 saints suddenly talk about this matter? Jade Emperor Haoshan asked. Although the calamity has not yet arrived, I calculated that it will only be a few hundred years. I think it's time to book the westward journey crew. The guide came out and said. Have you registered as a member of the westward journey team? Jade Emperor Haoshan looked surprised. Jade Emperor Haoshan and I had already laid out the plan. But the 2 of them thought that Jiyin and Zunti would come over when the calamity was approaching. Unexpectedly, they would not come to measure the calamity. It will come in hundreds of years. Moreover, it is too embarrassing to come at this time. He, Jade Emperor Haoshan, is preparing to save the face of heaven. The two leaders of the Western sect are very important, but the face of heaven is more important. Jade Emperor Haoshan Tian then said to saints, "Can we talk about this later? This time there is a monkey in the lower world disturbing my heaven. I will take care of this monkey." Jade Emperor Haoshan said as he prepared to take action. Jiyan and Zunti immediately showed a somewhat strong attitude. "Jade Emperor, I'm afraid you can't deal with this monkey." Zunti laughed. "This monkey cannot be dealt with by his heavenly court? What does this mean?" "Listen, you Zunti has something to do with this monkey." "Zunti Saint, what do you mean by this?" Jade Emperor Haoshan said coldly. "Jade Emperor, don't think too much. What I mean is that my senior brother and I have decided that this person will be registered as a person who traveled to the West. Therefore, from now on, I, the West, should take over how this person calculates." Zunti said with a smile. Watching Sun Wukong make trouble in heaven before, Zunti felt very happy. However, it was so refreshing that his incarnation as a Taoist bodhisattva must not be exposed. If his identity is exposed, the defendant will know ancestor, he will not have such a good fruit. However, who the Jade Emperor Haoshan is, he must mention it without revealing it, but bringing him here on time will also position Sun Wukong as the person who traveled to the West. How can the Jade Emperor Haoshan be allowed to? I won't think too much about it. At the first moment, Jade Emperor Haoshan concluded that Sun Wukong must be related to these two people. It is impossible to say that these two people secretly cultivated Sun Wukong. Thinking of this, Jade Emperor Haoshan immediately thought of Sun Wukong. A body with powerful fighting power, and a secret that I can't even see clearly. Except for existences at the level of saints, it is impossible for such people to lay out such powerful schemes. At this moment, Jade Emperor Haoshan was immediately sure. He valued Sun Wukong. And Sun Wukong causing trouble in heaven were all the plans of Jiyan and Zunti. Suddenly, the Jade Emperor Haoshan was filled with anger. The anger was even directly reflected on his face. "Take the lead, mention these two saints, you guys are really good at planning." Jade Emperor Haoshan gritted his teeth and said coldly. "Reminds you, 3 things about reading, collect, recommend, and share."